guys, welcome back to my channel. I literally just discovered that I'm missing an earring and I'm trying to be positive because that's what I'm about, but I'm really upset. Anyway, I want to start my day on more of a positive note. I'm at Kurt's house and I'm becoming more at home here. Again, I brought more items from my house that I don't use every single day and I'm leaving them here, just like some tracksuit pants, jumpers, pajamas, all things like that. So I am feeling a lot more at home here now. I'm still not a fan of the travel and living out of a suitcase, but like I said, we're being positive and it is getting better. I love having like an intention for each vlog I make, like having sort of like a theme, and I feel like something that a lot of people have been struggling with lately, and something that I was struggling with like only 2 weeks ago, is portion control and binging. I'm really passionate about those topics and not only what it does to your body but also your mind. So I want to share with you some tips and tricks that I use to try to like beat the binge. I'm just going to take you through a day in the life with me, what I eat, and then I'll pop my tips and tricks in sporadically throughout the vlog. Welcome to Kurt's wardrobe. Sorry Kurt, but this says his subscribers are having a little sneak peek. So nice of him, he emptied out this whole space in the cupboard for me. Face products, makeup, clothes, and then I bring my Topeka protein powder just in case like he's snacking on something and I'm hungry, so I can just like make a protein shake. And then obviously because I need options, I still bring a big sleepover bag with me, my handbag, shoes, jumpers. So this is what I'm gonna wear to breakfast, then I'll come home, clean up Kurt's room a little bit from all my stuff, and then head back to my suburb. Finished having my brekkie and it was absolutely delicious, and that brings me into tip number 1 of the vlog, and that is eat breakfast. Not only does a lot of research back this tip up, but for me personally, eating breakfast is like my number 1 tip to not binging later on in the day. I know sometimes if you've eaten bad the day before, you wake up feeling really guilty and you say, I'm not going to eat breakfast. Not only is that a really unhealthy mindset, but it's actually not very good for your body. For me personally, when I don't have breakfast or if I accidentally skip it, I binge at night time, like from like 6 p.m. onwards. I just cannot get full and I'm just hungry all the time, and I think back and it's always the days that I didn't have breakfast. Breakfast is the key. Obviously, if you wake up feeling really full and lethargic and you're not hungry at all, listen to your body, don't force yourself to eat, but if you can, definitely have a quality breakfast. I'm back at Kurt's place now. I've got to go inside, pack up all my stuff, which is going to be fun. One of the worst parts is I can't carry it all to my car in one go, so we'll see how I struggle with this. And I've got to be like really quick because I parked my car in a no parking zone, like out the front of someone's house. So if they come out, they are not going to be happy. While I'm packing up my stuff, let's jump straight into tip number 2. And one of the most important tips I have is including a healthy fat in every single one of your meals. This is something I learned through trial and error, and also my naturopath taught me this. Understanding that eating fat doesn't make you fat was like one of the hardest things, I guess, for me to wrap my head around. But honestly, since integrating more fat into my diet, I have like lost so much more weight. My skin is glowing, I'm feeling fuller for longer. Majority of the positive aspects that come from my diet, I give credit to eating heaps of healthy fat. And if you're like me and have like an insatiable appetite and can eat all day, put a healthy fat into every single meal and you will stay fuller for longer. My favorite healthy fats are avocado, walnuts, coconut oil, oily fish, flaxseed oil, and essentially any nuts and seeds. So this morning my healthy fat in my breakfast was the egg yolk and the basil pesto. The bacon in the meal was full of fat, but it wasn't really a healthy fat. I don't want him coming home to a messy bedroom. Ugh, so much effort. But you know what? I'm gonna edit this and fast forward so it looks like I just whipped it up and did it nice and quickly with fun music. But really, I'm resenting making this bed right now.
Oh yeah, one more time.
That was a lot easier than I anticipated. What's not going to be easy is taking all of this to my car. Oh my gosh. Is anyone else so high maintenance like me and like you have to bring your own pillow wherever you go? Okay, this is ridiculous. I can like hardly hold my camera. The novelty of moving around suburbs and living out of a suitcase has definitely worn off, so don't be surprised if my next vlog is like a I'm moving out to my own apartment vlog. I'm actually serious. I've been looking at apartments because I wouldn't mind moving out because this is not fun anymore and it's hurting my biceps. Car or wardrobe? No one would ever know. I'll repeat this whole process in like another 2 days. I'm so thirsty, and that brings me up onto tip number 3, and that is staying hydrated. So let me go and get my little props / water because I'm dying, and I will explain tip number 3 in greater detail. Every day I either carry this mason jar around my house, or I have this glass water bottle that I bring around with me to like the gym and when I shop and things like that. I also like to drink through a straw because I feel like it makes me drink more. I don't know, that's just like a little personal hack that I use. Drinking water is scientifically proven to help fill you up and curb cravings. Also, lots of people, including myself, they find it hard to differentiate whether they're hungry or thirsty. I know you may think you're hungry, but your body may actually be thirsty. If you don't like regular water, definitely spice it up with putting some like strawberries or some lemon in it just to give it a nice flavor. I personally love to put chia seeds in it. I love the texture of chia seeds. It's just like these little jelly bean squishy things, and they're just like fun to chew on. It's also full of fiber, so really great for digestion. Chia seeds are also a great source for healthy fat, and you guys know I love fats, so it's going to help you feel fuller for longer. So literally all day I just keep refilling this with chia seeds and water, and I feel like when I forget to drink water, I eat so much more food when I'm not actually hungry. I feel hungry, but my body actually doesn't need food, it needs water. I think that's Kurt's problem a lot of the time. He says he's always hungry and he could eat more, and I'm like, Kurt, have you had any water today? And he's like, oh, no. I've just been sitting at my computer replying to some YouTube comments and drinking my chia water, which brings me on to tip number 4. In terms of binging, you might be a savory binger, a sweet binger, or a combo. I myself am a combination. More often than not, I'm craving something sweet like fruit and nut mix, or chocolate. So this tip is about smoothies and cacao powder. 2 things that I use every single day. Cacao powder, I have a lot of hot chocolate. I have a hot chocolate every single day, normally after dinner for my dessert. It's just 1 heaped teaspoon of cacao, a little bit of honey, coconut oil, hot water, and a dash of almond milk. 5 ingredients, that's it, and it's delicious. I made one for Kurt, and he even said he prefers my healthy hot chocolate to like the generic hot chocolate packets. And also in smoothies, I use a lot of cacao and chocolate protein, and I either use berries or banana in my smoothies, again because I like things super sweet. In saying this, let's utilize tip number 4 and go and make myself my second meal of the day, which is going to be a chocolate protein shake. I used to use Topeka's pump protein in the chocolate flavor and then add cacao in as well to make it extra chocolatey, but all of Topeka's new chocolate protein powders have added cacao, so they're like extra chocolatey, so I'm going to use that, and also some maca powder in there. Not only is maca powder great at balancing your hormones, it's also like a nice honeycomb sort of toffee flavor. Another thing I like about the Topeka products is if you don't really know what's going on or you don't know what it's good for, if you turn it over on the back, it gives you a little spiel about what it helps with. Not only am I actually genuinely hungry right now, but this is going to help tackle my sweet tooth and just satisfy my craving. So yummy. Abiding by tip number 2 as well, I've got chia seeds and coconut oil in there as my source of fat because I want to stay fuller for longer. Also, if you're not familiar with Topeka products, the protein is made up of pea protein and brown rice protein. So that is my protein-packed chocolate smoothie. I find it so hard to just like sit at my desk and do computer work without snacking. Like while my other tips are good with like the water and chia, sometimes I just want to munch on stuff. So I'm gonna go straight into my tip number 5, and that is utilize vegetables when you're not actually hungry. Like right now, I know I'm not hungry. My tummy is not rumbling. I can feel like I'm physically full. I pretty much sculled that protein shake, by the way, and I may have had a punnet of strawberries as well. Don't judge me. So when I'm not actually hungry but I feel like eating, I will snack on cucumbers and celery. Obviously, I don't count them as like meals or even like snacks to fill me up. It's more just to like pass the time. I need to sit here and keep editing for the next hour or so, and I'm feeling very like a kid stuck at school who just wants to like go outside and play. I think that's what they call ADD. I'm not too sure. So I'm gonna go cut up some celery and cucumber and capsicum. Also, when I've been making my plate of vegetables, I've also been making a tea or a coffee as well. I pretty much cycle through like 3 teas right now, and that is peppermint, chamomile, and dandelion root. I only really have dandelion root when I break out on my forehead because dandelion root tea is really good at detoxifying your liver. I find that I'm only congested around my forehead when I have like a toxic body and my liver needs a little bit of a flush. So that is tip number 5, utilize vegetables and hot herbal teas. Tip number 6 is a little bit difficult, and I want to make sure that I deliver it in a proper way. It's about knowing your body and knowing if your body right now fiber needs protein, carbs, or fats. You guys know I'm an intuitive eater, which means that I listen to my body and I don't count macros, I don't count calories. If I'm craving something sweet, then I'll have like a banana. If I'm craving something salty, I'll go have like some salty fish. And if I'm starving and craving fat, I'll have like avocado or nuts and seeds, things of that nature. Now, I do not recommend counting calories or tracking macros at all. I personally think that creates an unhealthy relationship with food. Eating a healthy diet does not have to be complicated. You really just have to listen to your body and know the basics. So I'm going to run through the bare minimum with you, the basics of basics, just to help you determine if your body needs protein, carbs, or fats, because you want to make sure you're getting enough of each throughout the day. Often people think that carbs are just like bread and pasta, but carbohydrates are found in vegetables, fruit, superfood powders, and sauces. Because I am paleo based, I don't really have rice and pasta, so majority of my carbohydrates come from fruit and vegetables. So something like a banana or sweet potato that is higher in carbs, that's going to give you immediate energy, so that's great for a pre-workout. Whereas something like baby spinach, eggplant, pumpkin, and zucchini is lower carb, lower glycemic. So even just in knowing that, if I know that I've had like sweet potato for lunch and a banana for breakfast, maybe I'll want to go a little bit lower in my carbs because I don't need that much sugar, and I'll have zucchini for dinner. So it's just about sort of balancing it like that in your head. My sources of protein are protein powder, fish, chicken, eggs, and nuts and seeds and vegetables. They do have protein in it, but I mean like my predominant sources of protein. And then my favorite sources of fats I already mentioned with my tip number 2. In the morning, I think, okay, what carbohydrates did I have? In my breakfast, it was the sweet potato, rocket spinach, cherry tomatoes, and alfalfa. And then I also had that sneaky blue dinosaur bar, so I had the dates in there. Then my predominant sources of protein were the 2 eggs and the bacon. And then my fat sources came from the egg yolk, basil pesto, bacon, and the coconut in that paleo bar as well. So that was a really good example of a nice balanced breakfast. I had the protein, carbs, and fats. So when I came home, I pretty much could have anything I wanted. Whereas if I had ordered an acai bowl for breakfast, that is predominantly carbs. That's pretty much just all carbs and sugar. So for lunch, I wouldn't have had a protein shake. I wouldn't have had any fruit. I would have had something that's higher in protein and fats, just to balance my whole day out. If you have a nice harmonious balance of those 3 macronutrients, your body really thanks you for it. And I just feel much healthier and my cravings definitely subside. But yes, in sharing tip number 6, I'm not endorsing counting calories or tracking macros or anything like that. I'm so against that. I just think you should know the basics and understand what food is and how it functions in the body. So that is tip number 6. Make sure you're getting a nice balance of protein, carbs, and fats in your diet, and manage that throughout the day.
Tell me what to do.
As much as I want to eat my delicious sardine salad next to Talia on the lounge. Do you love the smell of my sardine salad? Tip number 7 is Tip number 7 is save your sister from choking. You right, mate? Tip number 7 is all about where you eat your food. They've actually done research showing that you relate locations to like eating. So if you're normally sitting on the lounge and eating chips, as soon as you sit down on the lounge, you will feel like eating chips. Talia, can you vouch for this?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. This is like everyone's favorite spot in the house. It's like the movie spot. And whenever we sit there, we just want to munch. Yeah.
That's actually so true.
Yeah, it's a really good tip. So what I'm trying to do is always sit at the dining room table or sit in the kitchen and eat. At least you're eating an apple, that is really good. Talia is trying to get healthy, but the bad thing is she's following in my footsteps, and what are you addicted to?
I had a whole packet of fruit and nut mix today.
Whole packet. It's genetic, mate. You can't avoid it. Tip number 8 is being organized and prepared, especially when it comes to healthy snacks. Don't die about my stash. I have an entire container full of the Blue Dinosaur Paleo bars. It's because I have like one a day. Look, I know I had one in the morning, but it's my rest day and I've been working really hard, so I'm going to have another one now. And then in the fridge, I always have strawberries or like berries to snack on. And then I have Loving Earth chocolate as well. I've got some here, and then some of this stuff up here as well. So when everyone else is having ice cream or chocolate or lollies, I want to join in on the fun as well, because if I didn't have this in the house, I probably would succumb to peer pressure. I'd rather just have my own stuff. While I sort my shoes out and get ready for dinner, I thought I would talk about my second last tip of the video, and that is finding foods that you love and that you crave. That is honestly the key to maintaining a healthy lifestyle. As far as binging goes, this is what I feel like happens. When I started my health journey, I would like crave chocolate. And I didn't know what loving earth chocolate was then. I would absolutely crave that. Everything I did in that day, I was like thinking about chocolate. I would try to compensate, but the urge for chocolate was so strong, like nothing would satisfy me. So if you are just getting your feet wet and getting into this healthy lifestyle, don't be too harsh on yourself. If you allow yourself a little bit, like everything in moderation, I feel like that is way more maintainable, because often people like relapse and they will end up binging on the chocolate. So it's different for me nowadays because I only crave healthy foods. Like when I crave chocolate, I crave loving earth chocolate because that's how my mind thinks now. But seriously, that comes with time. If you live your healthy lifestyle for long enough, I swear you'll be like me as well, and you'll just crave bananas and fruit and nut mix. I realize what a freak I am and how lucky I am when I say that out loud. Think outside the box. You don't just have to eat like apples and bananas and strawberries and carrots. Find something cool and innovative. Like in Australia anyway, there are so many cool health food stores and health products. So yeah, I'm gonna go to sushi with my friend, just get sashimi, lay off the rice. I say that now, but I always just get a little bit of rice. And then I'm going to wrap up the vlog with tip number 10. Can't get comfortable. My jeans are too tight to cross my legs. I've returned home from dinner now. Sushi was delicious. We have arrived at that time of the vlog. Tip number 10. This is a bit of an odd tip, but I actually got it from Talia, my little sister. While it's great if your body goals and like the physique that you are striving for motivates you, but you should also think about your insides. And my little sister said that when she's craving something really bad, like let's just say ice cream, she thinks about the ice cream actually going into her body, and she thinks about what it's doing to her cells and how it's feeding her organs. And I thought this was a really clever way of thinking. So instead of just focusing on like, oh, ice cream's gonna make me fat, think about what is the ice cream doing to your body, to your skin, to your cells. How is it making your body thrive? And I can relate to this, especially when I was dealing with my hormonal acne. I would think about every single ingredient and food and how that was reacting with my skin. I wanted to eat alive, fresh, vibrant foods, so I looked alive, fresh, and vibrant. So if you feel like you're just sort of lacking motivation, you don't really care about your fitness and body goals anymore, because I know that I get to that point. I'm like, ugh, I don't care about abs, I don't care about cap shoulders, I don't care about my booty, whatever. Then I will flip my way of thinking and ask myself, what are these foods, what are these micronutrients and macronutrients actually doing to my cells? Is it making my body thrive or suffer? I really hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I had so much fun creating it and coming up with these top 10 tips. Sorry if it was a bit like boring and I was just sitting down and talking, but I really felt compelled to make a video like this that's actually really helpful for you guys, because at the end of the day, that is why I did create this channel, is to give you my tips and tricks and help you along your own health journey. So yes, I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like, because it really supports my channel, and it also helps give me an idea of what kind of videos you guys like to see. And make sure you are subscribed to my channel because I upload new videos every 3 days. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!